Hello. My name is Kareem Black. I'm a professional photographer here in New York City, and this is my first stream. I gotta admit, I'm a little nervous. I think that we're gonna see how it goes. And basically what I'm trying to do is what I do every day is work on my images. Hopefully you guys get something out of it. This is me as a 23-year pro in the industry. I retouch, I kind of edit. I want you to see kind of what I do. I want to hear your questions. There's going to be some celebrity stuff, some non-celebrity stuff. Today I think is March 30th, I want to say. I don't know, Trump just got indicted yesterday, so dated by that. Definitely going to try and stay away from some politics on here, but you know, I'm a political guy, so I might go into that. I'm a chess-loving guy too, I might go into that. But more than anything, it's about love of photography. I want people to ask me questions about photography. I want to discuss photography. I want to discuss lighting. I want to discuss models. I want to discuss Photoshop. I want to discuss AI, Midjourney. So let's see where we're at today. Obviously, at some point I'm going to get a microphone so the audio will be a little bit more awesome than it is now. But what we have here is a friend shoot, a musician named Roxiny. She's a singular act, but her music video is called Ni SANTAS, Ni PUTAS. I don't speak Spanish, but the whole music video was sort of this vibe, and I was on set. My girlfriend was there too. She was shooting video. I was shooting some stills, and as you can see, it's sort of like revolutionary vibe. Very, very pro-feminism, but I think more generally just pro-freedom, pro-equality, and sort of, if not that, then pro-revolution. Very, very powerful. So these are some of the images that I selected that I just shot. They're just stills from set. And when I shot them, I got the vibe that something like this would exist really well in like super stark black and white style. So basically, I'm starting out with my regular. Let's see if you guys can see this. Here we go. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger so I have more space to work here. There we go. There we go. So whenever I do images, these are images out of this one in particular is out of my girlfriend's camera because I brought the wrong flash for my Sony AR7 III, which is my baby, but I brought a Canon flash. Fortunately, she had a Canon, so this is out of a Canon 7D. Honestly, I don't think that anyone will be able to tell the difference. If you look over here at my layers, I've got my frequency separation going on, where you get sort of like a blurrier layer, that's skin, and then a more sort of crunchy layer on top of it, which is texture. And these are doing frequency separation is really amazing for retouching and also like sharpening. You know, if you double up on these texture layers, you can start to get super, super crunchy. And I think that at some point I'm going to end up doing that, not just because it's sort of shot on a lower pixel camera, but also because I think that I'm just super attracted to these images sort of being, let's see, like black and white, super, super contrasty. So this is black and white, but it's not super, super contrasty. I feel like the vibe of the video and the vibe of the song was something like this, you know? So usually when I start, especially going with a black and white image, I'll just throw the black and white layer mask on just to start. I mean, it'll give you sort of a vague understanding of what's about to happen. And this is actually not usually the way that I do it. Usually instead of curves, I'll start out with a like a brightness contrast layer. So my philosophy is, you know what? I'm going to take out the curves. I'm going to take off the curves. There we are. So now we just have the black and white layer, and we have the brightness contrast layer. And I think that these are just, I think it's like a sculpture, you know, like these photographs, or the way that I work, it's like, you know, with the sculpture, you start with a block of like marble, and then you sort of whittle it down to what it's supposed to be. And I think that, you know, starting with black and white layer and the brightness contrast layer, these are very sort of global alterations. And then you can start to, you know, further down the line, you can start to get into levels and like curves and things like that, and selective color. But this is just, we're just getting the vibe, you know, we're just getting the vibe of this photo, you know. You know, I think that we're starting. What I'm looking at is, I'm looking at here. Like, I think that the picture is about this. I think it's about this texture and this ski mask. I think it's about these lips, these eyes, these eyelashes. I'm totally gonna try to bring those out at some point. But it's like, now that we've got sort of brightness, contrast, now it's like, all right, cool. Let's talk to the image a little bit more, right? Let's get our whites to where we want it to be. You see how right here in the, can you guys see that? Oh, sorry. There we go. Right here in the curves. You see how they're kind of, how the curve is kind of broken? It means the image is kind of, it's on the edge of falling apart. I don't know if there's like a more technical way to say that, but so you just kind of have to be careful with how much you push here. Obviously with curves, once you get up here, and we're not dealing with like, you know, like RGB separately, we're dealing with RGB together. Once you get over here, you're talking about like highlights, and once you get down here, you're talking about shadows, and it's just sort of fooling with it until you get it to where you want it. Like so it's like the more that I have in the highlights, if I go all the way up here, that's obviously too much, but it's telling me, it's eliminating all of the midtones. Like here are my midtones, and I do want some midtones in this, right? But I do want the whites to be really white. So I'm gonna keep that super up there. Another thing that I'll do, it's a little, I don't know if it's a little cheat, but it's sort of, once you double up on this texture layer of the frequency separation, it's going to give you like a lot more detail, and it'll bring out some of those, like with more detail comes, you know, more of these middle tones, you know. But like what I'm talking about is it's bringing out this texture here, you know, and it's giving me, it's making those little bits and details in there pop, and it's showing me more detail, right? So I think that we're starting to be where we want to be here, at least on her mask. I think that that's really kind of cool. What I'm gonna do is, you guys can't see that. Here, let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see what's going on the other side of the screen. Yeah. Alright. So here's my toolbar. Make this a little bigger. And this is my regular setup. So, I'm sort of, I used to be a painter. Before being a painter, I was in the darkroom, so think the through line there is like in painting and being in the darkroom, you're sort of like breaking an image down sometimes into its components and like concentrating on those individual components. Like, so I will show you an example of what I'm talking about. So I'll take my lasso tool and do like a 60% feather, 60 pixel feather. And I'm just going to break this image down into little bits and pieces. So it's like, I'm going to highlight these eyes here and these lips. And I'm going to say, you know, I like where they're at, but let me see what happens if I just bring this down. I highlight them, I make them a selection, and now it's like, okay, now I can see a little bit of detail. You know, I kind of know what this girl's face is saying to me a little bit. And I think that, you know what, I think that I would do something similar on a different adjustment layer to this woman's mask. Yeah, I try and make it as neat as possible. So most of what I shoot is a bunch of celebrity stuff and advertising. But, you know, like today I'm not shooting. And what would I be doing today? Yeah, at some point I'd be reaching out to clients, but at some point, you know, usually when I wake up, I like doing this, you know, I like sort of centers me, you know. It's kind of chill. I love doing it. It reminds me, it tickles the same part of me as painting does, you know. So basically what I'm doing is, I want to see if I can, I don't know if I can get away with this, but I want to see if I can get away with these big black sort of blobs here. I want to see what's in there. I want to see if I can possibly get some detail there. I don't know if I can. I don't know if there's anything there. But let's see. So, in general, oh wait, I don't need to do that. In general, what I'm doing is, I'm highlighting these black parts, I'm selecting them, and then I am doing another curves layer, making it into like a adjustment layer. I'm going to see if I can't, okay, well that's a little, that is a little sloppy, like we can see around there, like there's a little halo. We're going to take care of that later, but let's see what the possibilities are. I'm not really mad at that. I'm not mad at where we're at here. We're going to probably have to go back in and make some corrections, but the first thing I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and figure out this halo here. Since it's on an adjustment layer, you can see over here, basically on an adjustment layer, the white that you see is what you can see, what will be affected, and the black that you see is what won't be affected. Since I have a feather on the adjustment layer, it's feathering out from what I'm affecting. See right here? So what I'm going to do is, I am going to, let's see here, oops, sorry, I do this little brush guy. Oh, actually no, I'm going to do this guy. I'm going to take the feather off this guy. Alright, cool. Let's try that. And now it's covered black. I'm just gonna, on the same adjustment layer, kind of just go in there and remove this little halo. We can zoom in and kind of make it more perfect. It's one of those things where it's like, how much time you got? I mean, I could do this all day, Captain America. And it can be as neat as you really want, you know? not bad. I actually don't mind where we're ending up here. There we are. I actually don't. This one here is not even bothering me that much. You know what I might do? I might give this girl and this girl just a bit more love. And in my, I'm gonna learn from my past mistakes. I'm gonna make the, do my lasso tool. I'm gonna make the filter, the feather just a little bit smaller, so I'm not fucking everything up with like a weird halo around everything. I'm gonna give you a little bit more love, and I'm gonna give you a little bit more love. And I'm gonna see. Looking at, again, I'm staying away from the eyes because it's gonna blow those areas out. There we go. There we go. So my goal with this whole thing, this whole Twitch thing, this whole YouTube thing, is because I have no goal. This is what I do every day. This is what I love to do. And if I wasn't doing it for you, I'd be doing it here for me, by myself, me and my cat, Evie, who will probably make a guest appearance at some point. So here is that adjustment layer, and I'm just gonna, just these two. Whoa, 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 whoa! Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. Calm down. Yeah, maybe something like that. Then what I would do is I would go sort of back in and see if we could bring these back down, because this looks a little crazy. Although, honestly, I'm kind of not mad at how graphic these are. Like how this becomes just shapes, you know? Let's see what we can do. I would like to see her lips just a bit. But I think that we're in a good place. Let's see what we can do. I don't know why I'm doing all curves for these. This is not my normal sort of technique. The great thing about Photoshop is there are about 500 ways to do everything. So I'd love to hear how you guys would do it. A lot of people would dodge and burn this. Which is a completely relevant way to do it. I don't know, me, it's just a preference. It's just a preference. I like sort of, it tickles my painting gene, you know? You can just do that, you know? Now this is one of these images where it's not for, it's my friend's music video, so it's not for like a job or anything. If it were a job, I would probably send this out. But I like working with friends. All my friends are artists. All my friends are creative. And I think that, there's less pressure, but there's less pressure as far as like an actual client, but there's more pressure as far as like, you want to fuck this up, for your friend, you know what I'm saying? Like, end the friendship. But then there's like also a degree of freedom where it's like, she wants this like next month or something. I can work on it when I want, She doesn't give me any instructions, so I find myself here with you fine people. Something that I really like to do sometimes is just to see what it looks like in color, And I think that there's something there too, which is interesting. Sometimes I have a hard time kind of making a decision. I love what I do, and it's kind of like, at the end of the day, like, I will have version 1, version 2, version 3, and I'll have to take a break from this stuff and like come back a couple weeks later and be like, okay, that's what I want. So remember at the top of this video, I told you guys like, that's really the black and white, but like now I'm like, I don't know, like this looks fucking cool. Like this woman in the front looks so strong to me, man. Let me know what you guys think. You know what? Let me just say this. Let me say this right now. Another thing that I will do, and it's just like guilty pleasure, even though sometimes I never use it, is like making fucking around with the texture layers. Like, how far can this go? How far can this go? How crunchy can this image be made? And obviously it's from a 7D, but like once you start going up to sort of larger sensor cameras, I mean, you can start to go crazy with this stuff, you know? And the image will hold together a lot better. I think that's really cool. Let's see. I'm gonna save that one. Another thing that I really like to do is, here's another one with the same sort of vibe, and I think that this picture right here is all about, it's not about the multiple figures, it's about this one girl in the middle. I think that this image will be this, you know, it might even be this kind of thing, you know. So what I like to do, especially when it's two images from the same like batch, the same shot, is like, let me just take these layers, these are layers from the last image, and just, let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens when I drag them over to this image. I don't know if this is what I'm trying to do. You know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. What I will do is I'll double up on this texture layer. I'm gonna start reconstructing this. I took off the black and white layer, so this is how it looks with everything in color. Let me see what's going on with the curve layer off. Okay, cool. So now we're back to basics. Brightness, contrast. Forgive me, I'm getting over a little cold, so the tea is bringing me life a little bit. Life hack. Tea, lemon tea, with lemon halls cough drops in the tea. Promise you it works. So now this is it. Now, okay. You know how they say, like, every person has a personality and every image has a personality? I believe that. So it's like, you know, like if every image has a personality and every image demands a different treatment, I really think that, you know, I mean, I do believe that there's such a thing as being sort of consistent, especially on like one shoot, like maybe all the images should have one look, but I feel like this image speaks a completely different language to me than the last image, you know? So I'm just gonna treat it a little bit differently. I feel like her blue eyes, man, I think that I'm gonna try and highlight those. I am going to try to, this is a decision that I usually don't make this early on in the process, but sometimes you gotta be bold. What does Bob Ross say? You know, take a big swing or something like that. I'm taking a big swing. I'm gonna crop this, and I'll tell you why. Because I think that, okay, so that's Roxiny on the right, and she's awesome, but that is not the most flattering picture of her. Then I am completely at fault for that. But so I'm gonna take that out before she kills me. I think that she was giving instructions to the director or something. But also I think that the story of the image is almost specifically this woman. And I'm going to figure out what to do with this gentleman in the back at some point. But so here's my big swing. I'm going to crop this. And because I think that when you start cropping images, it's about, hey, is the part that I cropped out adding to the story of the image, you know, or is it distracting? And I think that that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to not distract. I don't think that we're talking about the story anymore with the stuff that I cropped out. This is interesting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deconstruct it just a little bit more. I'm going to take off this second texture copy, so you saw that it got a little bit more sort of soft or blurry. But I find, I mean, you can't retouch with 2 texture copies. It's like, I mean, you can, but what you would have to do is you'd have to retouch the skin copy, then the texture copy, and then retouch the other texture copy. So what I rather do is, this is how I retouch. This is not the best image to show how I retouch, but I usually start to go with the skin, and like I said, the skin's like a little bit of a blurrier layer, but you'll see how this whole thing works. And I just try to, I try and stay away from anything porcelain looking. I want things to look real. But I'm going to try and smooth this out. The skin is basically the tone, and the texture is basically the sharper aspects of it. So like for instance, if I'm on the texture layer and I go to sort of my patch tool, I sort of just, this is just on texture, you know, I just sort of start taking this out, you know. Again, the last thing I want in any of my images, but certainly this one, is for things to look porcelain, over retouched. I don't think that that's what this video is about either. I'm just trying to, I don't know, you fool around with it a little bit until it looks right to you, don't you, you know? There we are. There we are. I don't know if you guys can hear my cat run. She's going into, what's wrong, girl? You just run around the apartment for no reason. Why is that? Why do cats do that? It's like they're imagining. They're imagining stuff. She's running back and forth all day. There we go. So I think that you guys see kind of what I'm trying to do. I violated one of my rules also too. I usually, well, it wasn't even a violation because I didn't work on the skin layer, but I usually make a double of the skin layer just in case. I think that a big thing in Photoshop is not being destructive and not making changes that you can't reverse. So if I botch something on the skin layer, I've got an unaltered skin layer beneath it. I think that other people take other sort of safeguards and more extensive safeguards. But I think that 2 skin layers for me is good. I think that this is good here for the texture retouching. I'm going to see, I mean, skin layer doesn't look too bad to me, so here we are. Oh yeah. You guys are not going to believe me, but I'm going to have to jump off in a little bit because I need to pick up my laundry. My stuff's in the dryer, and when I went to put it in the dryer from the washing machine, the place was packed and my stuff had been taken out of the washing machine by the laundry attendants, which like I totally get. I get it, the place is packed today, but I don't want that same thing to happen with my clothes that are drying. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave you guys on a cliffhanger to see what happens with this image. I definitely think that there's a lot of potential here. I think at some point I'm gonna put some sort of a vignette on it so that all the tension is even more drawn to her. I'm gonna try to make her eyes a little bit more piercing. I mean, they're very piercing right now. I think that there might be something going on with like a little bit more contrast, saturation. This may be a black and white image at some point. I know I'm going back on what I said. I don't know, I love just fooling around with images. But I'm going to leave you guys on a cliffhanger until we do chapter 2 of me retouching Roxy's music video images. There's nobody watching now, this is my first stream, but hopefully once it hits YouTube, there'll be some people watching. Leave a like, let me know what you guys think about my technique, about the pictures, about photography, about pizza, about cats, about holes in your tea. let me know. This has been a fun first stream. I'm going to do chapter 2 soon. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later.